Hey everyone, Courtesy here. Getting ready for to go out and a boot into the society and whatnot. So I'm doing some makeup. The reason why I'm doing it on camera, it's probably gonna like seem enormously silly and ridiculous to a lot of people, but for one, I want to share because I get some good tips every once in a while about how to improve. And I do watch tutorials and stuff, but I'm still learning how to, like, when I have a brush in my hands, you know, sometimes I still have, like, man brain, and, like, it's hard to be smooth and delicate and finesse. So, I'm trying. I really am. Alright. What do I need here? Alright. As you can tell, I'm a little bit nervous, but that's not like... I'm used to doing videos and stuff, and I'm used to putting makeup on. I've just had a few nervous days. Kind of like personally upsetting days. So, a lot of times when I do my makeup, it's kind of like... I don't know if anyone used to watch the show Angel, like the spin-off from Buffy, because that's going to show you how old I am. But, well, that was really close to my eyeball. Father Mucker. Okay, there we go. But there is this demon in that show who had the power to read people's emotions, the emotional part of their brain, when they would sing, like karaoke and stuff, right? And I always thought like that was such a randomly awesome power. So, I find that doing makeup, like when you're in a mood or, you know, I feel like, F it. I'm going to do my face today the way I want. A lot of times that's like the equivalent of like singing to have your feelings unveiled, because a lot of times the way my makeup turns out is highly dependent on the mood that I'm in, right? And I think that's probably true for a lot of people. I know 90% of what I'm going to be showing you is like technically wrong. So please just bear with me here, peoples. I just want to show you my technique, or lack thereof, I suppose. And then, by all means, if anyone has like advice and stuff, totally willing to take it. Because I get a decent look based upon like from where I started to now, you know, but that doesn't really say much in terms of how many more skills I can still learn. So, like, I know about the T-bar and things like that, but I think when it comes to putting makeup on, and this applies to anyone that's dealing with facial hair and more masculine features, in my opinion anyway, there are, or perhaps maybe, different techniques to use to be able to achieve the looks that you want. Oh, that mustache line is brutal for me. All right. I'm going to try and get this done in a relatively short amount of time so that people aren't stuck, you know, unless you're in the bathroom or whatever, doing your own thing, or, I don't know, on transit. But I know I make pretty long videos for TikTok, and I thank you for those who watch them all the way through. And like I said, for some of you, especially in the makeup industry, it's probably going to be hard to watch. Okay. Not for final outcome, but just for technique. Kind of like, oh, excuse me. Kind of like philosophy with a hammer, a little bit, you know? Like, it gets it done, sorry. But, you know, there's probably far more Well, there's probably far better ways that are far more finesse and controlled. Okay. I'm going to go with more of like a lighter, what is it here? Yeah, the lighter foundation, kind of like more of a, I don't know, porcelain's way too strong. It's obviously not. It's more of like a, what would that be? A peachy beige? Right. Sorry, I'm just getting a little nervous here. But it's important, I think, for me to be able to put this video out of like showing how I do my makeup. Because there's a lot of people out there who are still, you know, hatching that egg. And all the power to you. It's not my place to judge where you are in your journey. You know, as long as you don't expect me to go back in the closet to make you feel better. Now, probably for those who are watching, it's like, that's a ton of foundation and concealer you're using. And I agree. But part of it's probably from the dysphoria of being like, I want to change my face as much as possible and I don't have facial feminization surgery. So then like it's probably overdoing it, you know? And like part of my brain comprehends that, and part of my brain is like, more. We must hide our features. So, again, bear with me, please. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to the part that's really gonna... Okay. I'm gonna show you my very high-tech sponge that I got from underneath my kitchen sink. Is that blended well? I think so. See, it's like a lot of this is like trial by fire and like aesthetic ignorance, and I truly believe that, like, especially if you can find a supportive community, or if you can find the strength in yourself through whatever coping mechanisms you can develop, to be able to explore, like, even if you're not in the LGBTQ community, like, who cares? Like, makeup is so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I would have started doing it sooner, just for the sake of, like I said, seeing how you feel that day, you know? Like, doing makeup is almost like a therapy session at times, because it just shows me, like, as I'm doing it, and as I'm letting my feels kind of guide sometimes, you know, it's like, oh, I didn't realize I'm in a sparkly mood today. I guess I was feeling really down, and that's my way of kind of like perking myself back up. Okay. So in terms of like how much blush to use and things like that, you know, I'm still learning a lot. And like, for example, sometimes it's recommended to put blush for trans along the areas where you can still see subtle amounts of hair. And then other times it's like, well, that's frowned upon, like, aesthetically, because it kind of throws off what you're kind of, and, you know, the whole, like, it's the idea that less is more, countered by, like, a lack of experience of like, anxiety, and being like, oh, no, my features are horrible and I need to hide them, right? Because I'm still getting that self-confidence. Here, I'm just going to move it so it's under the lighting better. Now, I used to have bronzer, but my purse had an anxiety attack and it broke. So now I need to get some new bronzer when I can afford it. Okay. I think that looks okay for now, like so far. Here, let's do a little bit underneath for some shadowing. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way, it's looking okay, you know. I still gotta put my teeth in too. Yeah, so beautiful, right? I mean, I am a recovering addict. I don't hide that. Some people, like, I'm in recovery. I've been clean for quite some time, but obviously, like, there's been some side effects. I'm extraordinarily lucky, if I'm being honest, considering what I was doing and who I was doing it with, that I walked away with such little damage as I did. I'm extraordinarily grateful for that, because I know so many people who aren't here anymore, right? Because of nothing to do with their faults, but sometimes this world just breaks us and it's hard to pick the pieces back up, you know? So I think today, I'm trying to go with something that matches here, you know? Oh, it's already 10 minutes. Holy crikey. I don't even know if this is going to be a TikTok video. I don't know if I'm going to post it. Anyway. I feel like going with this sort of like a rosy, no, what is that? It's almost like a neon magenta? I'm not sure, but I like it. Yes, I do my eyes this way with my fingertips. I don't know if it's wrong, but when I do brushes, I feel like I'm always poking myself in the eye. And I get it. I'm using my fingers. How is that any different of not poking yourself in the eye? I don't know. Maybe it's a control issue, you know? I have things about, like, I have difficulty putting contacts in my eyes, getting eye drops. So, for whatever reason, my brain's like, this is more comfortable. You know? I want to learn how to use brushes. I'd like to be able to, but for now, okay. That looks, I need a little bit more up top on, yeah. There we go. And then the scooch. Okay. And then when I get like a little stuff in the corners like that, I'll show you what I do for it. Now what I usually like to do 2 colors for my eyes. So I got that going on right now. And then I'll do a little bit upper top that kind of matches it. Maybe. So let's see. That one's pretty. I'll try something that matches my outfit a little bit. Oh my god, that's such a beautiful. Sorry, I don't know if you can see. I think that's a beautiful color. But so I'm going with like the blue and purplish themes, obviously. I'm gonna clean all this stuff up. I know it's looking a little jokery right now, but okay. So now that I got like that base applied and it looks like look like Horgeous George, you know. So next phase, I'm gonna take probably my favorite. It's just such a tiny little. I don't even know the name it's wearing off. Belle and Argent, I think. Like this little thing, as you can see, that's the one I use. Freaking game changer. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I can hide so much of my mistakes with it. And also use it to blend. Which for me is dope. I'm sorry, but it is. Okay. I'll play with that a little bit more. I think there's a third. Let's see here. Okay, we're gonna get a little playful and creative, I guess. So I'll use my Radiance. Okay. And then put here. So I don't know in terms of this video where it's gonna go. It's pretty goddamn. Oh, sorry, it's pretty gosh darn long. Let's see. And then finally, once I got a base down that I'm comfortable with, I'm gonna take. Oh, sorry. I got something in my eye. Huh. Selma Hayek from Dogma. Oh, I'm sorry. I got something in my eye. Okay. This little puppy here, woo! It's just really, really shiny. Usually it's for like more extravagant expressions. However, there's a shiny white. There's a shiny white powder that I really like. There's a shiny white style that I find is really good for adding a sparkle and also kind of like diluting some of the more like the tan color that is going to be standing out in contrast to the rest of my palette, like my natural palette. And so a lot of times I'll finish off with a tad bit of this white. For a little bit of extra sparkle. And as a blend. There we go. How does that look? That looks okay-ish. You know, it's kind of a rush job, but I don't mind like the multicolor eyelids, the blue and pinkish. I don't know if you can see. You know? So say, well, like I completely acknowledge I'm early on in a lot of parts of my journey. But at least I'm willing to share and express myself. Just show the world who I am trying to become. And of course there's trolls and there's, you know, the people who have highly uneducated opinions who like physically are incapable of defining the words they're using when they're trying to insult you. And then it's like, well, I'm sorry, but I don't have Dr. Dolittle here right now, so I can't really interpret what you're saying. But for the most part, people are pretty good. Like I said, this is kind of like, I call it guerrilla makeup, Guerilla, because the methods I'm using are quite crude for some. Like, I'd love to have someone give me a makeover and like take notes kind of thing, you know, but and it's probably helpful to have like an eyelash curler, for example. Is that okay? Here. Trying to get like a side eyelash to like be coming out more to compensate for the fact that they're not as curly as I'd like them to be. Here we go. And I can put a little bit of bedazzle just under my eye there. Just a little bit of golden sparkle. To draw away from, so like my reasoning is that I find a little bit of sparkle distracts from the mistakes that I make. And then when we're talking about makeup, well, that's a whole different story. For example, some of the mascara that has touched up here that I'll try to touch up, but for the most part, oh yeah, sorry, I just had a message I was reading. For the most part, let's see here. What would be a good way to do that? I can go into my palette again and try to reapply, but if I do, it's gonna darken a bit because that mascara is gonna mix into it, right? So we're not gonna do too much. Just like one sweep, like you're making a rainbow. That's what I tell myself. That's what it feels like sometimes. All right, I know I'm hard on myself sometimes, but it's a little pridey. The only reason why I say that is because I'm going into the office, and the office is a little corporate-ish. So it's a combination of like standing my ground and also not giving them reason to be like, what's this person doing here who doesn't look the way that we expect them to? You know how it is sometimes. I know you do. And yeah, oh God, maybe I'm using a lot of sparkle. Maybe I'm using my fingers for my makeup. And maybe I'm looking like a damn fool. But I'm willing to put myself out there to learn. I love learning. I love being corrected in I like learning from my mistakes, let's say. So I don't think that, like, I think this is okay. You know, it's not amazing. Oh, I know what I need. Because I put that blue on. Just a tad. There. And just a tad. Here. Sometimes we can make statements with our makeup, you know. That's one of the beautiful things about it. Okay. So you're like, why are you rubbing your hands together? Trust me, like, if I could stop it, I would. I have this really nervous habit of like rubbing my hands together, and that's like the performative version of it. I just, like, ever since I was really little, I used to always fidget a lot with my hands, or shake, or like, clench up. And so I've gone from there to like nervously rubbing my hands together at times. So, like I said, we all have to make progress in our own ways, you know. Sometimes we have to get out of our own way for that to happen. Okay. Next up. Lipstick, I believe, would be a good idea. Now, I think I'll put on Dramatic. That's the name. That's not like the personality choice I'm choosing. Let's see here. So one of the frustrating things is that obviously you can probably still see my hairline through my makeup, like it, at least somewhat. Part of that's acceptance on my half. But a lot of it is not being able to afford laser hair removal right now, just like, as I'm sure most people can relate to in terms of whatever it is they're trying to save up for, you know. So again, like I said, a lot of my techniques and stuff, I don't know. They probably seem like, well, definitely amateurish, but I'm a big advocate of willing to put yourself out there. Because of course there are people in this world that are going to try and bring you down to their level. Right? Kind of like, I know quoting him isn't the most fashionable things anymore, but Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain. Don't argue with an idiot because they'll bring you down to their level and beat you with experience. So pick your battles, right? Find a good tribe. It's just personal advice that I can give out. Except for the Samuel Clemens quote. I guess that wasn't personal advice. Okay, I'm going to put a spray on to like set it in. Oh boy. I'll do next one on my neck because oftentimes makeup will rub off under the collar and then it looks kind of icky. It looks icky. So, okay. And now that the spray is settling, I'm gonna put, I got a little bit of makeup. Or sorry, a little bit of lipstick to take care of here. Here we go. I think it's better. Okay. This is a huge video. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit on my lips. Just a little bit of a sparkle. Hey. All right. So this is a long video. Longer than I expected. In my head, I'm like, I'm gonna do a 5-minute makeup video. It's gonna be so good. 20 minutes later. Am I doing it right yet? Anyway. I don't have my, oh yeah, I do have my teeth here. Yay! Probably should have put them in before I did my lipstick. However, see, the glasses are just throwing me off so much. These are like my older dude glasses. I had nice lady glasses, but they also, oddly enough, had an anxiety attack and fell to pieces. So now I need to get some new glasses because yay. Top button done up. Let's see. You know what? Fuck it. I've been under stress lately. Being mildly choked is, you know, kind of a reward at this point. Or a punishment, but you get where I'm going. There we go. Oh my god! Sorry. A little bit frustrating. Get in the hole! There. Now, if I have time, I'll ask my niece to braid my hair, because that's also something that I'm working on. Yay! Anyway. Here's the finished product. Boo-ba-da-boo. Sometimes I try to go for like the cute librarian, I don't know, preppy look, I guess. Especially because I was the exact opposite of that growing up. And so I'm embracing the sides of myself that I was never really allowed to or encouraged to. But now I'll finish. And yes, I'm going to put my teeth in on camera. I realize some people might think that's odd, gross, uncouth, but this is my reality. So, I've lost about 1/3 of my teeth to drug use and to poor coping and self-maintenance. Because in the past, I struggled a lot with mental health. I still do, but I'm doing way better than I was, like in terms of resources and stuff. Ta-da! So now I'm ready to go out. Bye!